That is good. Let's close that. Let's hit the go live button. And as we go live, I'll change the tab. And let me read out the following to start this podcast. You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall. And
Howdy.
it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of the 26th to the 2nd of July, with a couple of exceptions. The first one
Going back in time.
is... Sorry, 26th of June. Did I say June there? Or did I just fly past June?
Didn't say June, but we are going back in time in a sense because this has already been available to us for some
It
weeks.
is. Tiger and Buddy, Season 2, Episode 13. Constant dropping wears away a stone. I was about to say constant drooping.
I mean, if you droop enough, yeah, that'll wear away your stone as well. So
constant pooping wears away a stone.
that also would work. Yep.
Yeah. Just don't give up. Keep on battling on, and you'll get opportunity. I kind of like that. It's kind of desperate, kind of banding together. Everyone is fucked. Everyone is absolutely fucking bollocks. They got fucking shoulders out or legs out, but we still gotta take down these two villains, and they're just throwing anything they got left at it. It is literally the last ounce of whatever they got left in reserve that's been thrown at this, and just like, oh, just fucking. They're out. Boom, they're out. But I'm saying this little by little, yes, they do manage to fucking just overcome these two. But nonetheless, you still feel kind of shit about it. Because part of it is because, these are just two big child-minded idiots just kind of paraded on into this situation. So when, they beat them, but I don't feel good about this either.
And the way they beat them is essentially, it's stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting. It's literally stop hitting yourself as the final blow. Yes, and we also learned first, though, in a flashback, that indeed there is an Ouroboros run or evil orphanage for evil orphans.
Okay.
Satan's School for Girls.
Where they were brought into the other evil next people, but they didn't want to hang out. They didn't get on well with the other evil children. So he took them in to raise them as his own. And the bosses were like, hey, go make people hate next with these guys. And he was like, I don't want to do it. But they're discussing in bed. It's like, yeah, we'll do it for Dad. Because we know Ouroboros wants it, but like it'll make Dad look good, so obviously we're gonna do it. And then we see another flashback later where he overhears them saying that. It's like, it's so heart-wrenching. They want to be evil for their dad. It's great.
He is, and this kind of gives us like another little clue when you combine it with the stuff from the first season of like the difference between the high up Ouroboros guy who's in the heart of the hero organization and what was the other guy, the earlier villain who shows up.
He was
Jake.
I can't think of the name.
The dude that took out in that same stadium that they were like settling on in last episode. Yeah, that dude. He was like, this dude, like he hates society just like Ouroboros. No, he has some kind of vendetta against Barry Brooks just like Ouroboros. So he thought he was a man. No, he was not. But like that's kind of it as well. And even with the dad character here, let's say, he obviously has no fun. I joined Ouroboros because back when it had a cause, man. No, it believed in something. No, the society is all messed up, and we should try and take it down, build something in this place for a fun scene. At some point, it became just about business. It's become like taking that society and trying to establish a new world. It became about a profit and loss, zero-sum game. What about the people, man? What about the children? That's what I'm here for. I want to make something good for next generation, and he's going up against that.
And even in his flashback, he talks about it's like I worked my way up from the bottom to be like on the CEO whatever level of Ouroboros. But even when he's like saying it's like I'm not putting my weird fucking superpowered children in this fucking plan, and they're like they're pawns just like you. Points to his hand tattoo. So it's just like the idea is like you can crawl your way up from the bottom, but you're still gonna be treated like you're from the bottom. Basically.
It feels more like clearly like it's a superhero genre terrorist organization. It's Hydra. It's AIM. It's
Yeah.
the ambitions of the ones at the top of the organization are not necessarily the same ambitions as the ones towards the bottom of the organization.
That and everyone working against
Yeah.
each other,
Yes.
technically, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and as well, it's an interesting thing. It has kind of this as like a counterpoint between this and where, let's say, where My Hero Academia is
Yeah,
at
sure.
currently, where it's manga, where it is like, you know, this superhero society. It seems like a good idea. It's all kind of capes and fucking rainbows and foiling bank robbers. Like, you know, that's all the story for the press, for the news, the bedtime story you tell each other, everybody at night. But it's like there's not set up equally for equal opportunity for everybody else. And
Yeah, I would
certainly with Fugan and Mugen, I found, yeah, they certainly had the grudge against society, rightfully so, because if one just cast them aside and they were taking them with somebody who, you know, he took them in like to a certain end, but he came to care about them. And he went saying, yeah, but why couldn't they just been like two young lads who had every opportunity in life to just do whatever they wanted to? Because it seems so innocent and pure and nice. It's just they're disparaged because of how they were born, essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder if the Ouroboros metaphor is that the criminal wing of Ouroboros is committing these crimes in such a way that benefits the hidden legitimate side of Ouroboros.
Yeah. Like if there's a part of Ouroboros that sells anti-Next protection gear, so fear of Next would benefit them.
Or it's going to be that the lady on the blimp,
it's
she's
probably
like
gonna
some
be
kind of fun fate healer or influencer of once. You know, she's the kindly old grandmother who tells fortunes, and you know she's talking about kind of world peace and world love, as long as you're
world control
next to or anything. Don't want that, you know. But you don't say that until later, until after you've sold all the tickets to this blowout concert.
Yeah, so they're fighting for good. So yeah, Tiger's down, and now Barnaby's fighting, and
Barnaby's plan is just aura for a little bit. And
it is.
I love the way Tiger's like immobilized on the ground. He's saying to everyone, "It's like, no, he's got a plan. Everyone, trust me. Oh, fucking, he's got a plan. We just gotta wait and see what his plan is."
Quarter of his mask's taken out. Okay, yeah, he's definitely got a plan. The rest of his mask taken out. Yep, definitely. Don't leap in yet, guys. He's got a plan. And then your lad's arm blows up as he tries to punch him because he's overloaded with 100 power.
I mean, that was his plan, which was like, how much can he absorb, and then when he releases it, can his body handle it? Which the answer is no. So because Barnaby noticed he was only using one arm to punch and stuff, because obviously he's not defending, he's just taking the hits so he can absorb them. But he's only so he's broken both his arms, and he's like, "Don't worry, brother, I've still got my 2 legs, so all we have to do is kick all the heroes to death."
Shoot me repeatedly. I do like how he then breaks his leg and they don't draw attention to it until he's got to run later on in the episode.
Yeah.
It's very, very fun saying, "I'm coming to get you."
That's the most menacing. My arms and one of my legs are broken, and I'm hopping angrily towards you I've ever seen in anything. So well done, show.
This is after Magic Cat has impaled his brother on a metal spike.
Yeah, water pressure is actually like a really dangerous power when you think about it, especially when you consider the environment and they're next to St. Patrick's Cathedral, and it's just like, yeah, that's not going to be good.
But she's had fun reaching inside the little charm barrier and the fun saying, "No, not but read a charm, just like trusts in its inherent like faith in you." Fun saying, "Oh, it's got a cute cat drawing, and it's almost like the cat goes, Gambate, Neko Champ." Fun saying, "That's all I needed to hear, man. That's all I needed to hear to unleash a torrent of water to impale this dude."
Yeah, she's gonna need some fucking therapy because she's got a kill on her record now.
I don't know. She's this instance alone has been enough for her because she's used to being, "I'm a magical girl. I shoot water because I'm a cat." Isn't that weird? But she's getting fucking super powered backhanded.
Yeah.
She's been just having the shit knocked out of her this whole afternoon, and it's not really what her mother said it would be. I mean, it's all her mother said it would be.
Initially, like the new young guys tried the plan of, okay, they keep teleporting around and beating the shit out of us. So if we all go back to back, we'll be fine. But they can just teleport in between you and various other things. Yeah. It's like, it doesn't really work. But Mr. Black does take a hit for his partner. So it's like, you can do it. I'm here to support you. And it's like, oh no, this is getting my lone wolf thing all confused. Basically,
I am Thomas finally has to use teamwork, which means dragging Tiger off his feet and use him as a puppet.
And then your man's like, "Oh, that's pretty sick. You heroes are bastards too, huh? Using this guy as a puppet." And it's like, "Wait a minute, this guy's actively struggling against me. What are you doing?" It's like, you fucker, I'm actually telekinetic controlling Bunny to kick your ass."
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. I got all these power charged up in my fists. It's on kind of fun little go right now. Even though I've only got one leg, fun saying, "Oh yeah." Well, if you fun do is just kind of bend your arms down and you punch yourself, and it goes right through your gut, and you've only got one leg left, so the discharge and the impact is going to kill you, liquefy your internal organs.
Yeah. I suspect they refuse to say how they've been freezing the other teammates.
Yeah.
They won't give themselves up, and
because the guys are like, "Dude, just surrender now, and we'll be able to call an ambulance for your brother and shit." Like never, we will never surrender as we're bleeding out on the fucking snow.
We'll teleport back home to Daddy though to die in his arms, because there's been some shit go down at Ouroboros Sternbill City HQ. With Gregory Sunshine.
Yeah.
I think a man stood to a nice name of that would be pretty chill. Gregory Sunshine, happy out. No, he's disabled the guards and taken the machine guns and killed everybody, and he's made off with a lot. He's
wandering down the corridor with a machine gun. Then the dad character is wandering around the corridor, like, "Hey, stop!" And then Jimmy Olsen's wandering after that guy, and none of them know that the other one's there. Basically, it's really silly.
I love the back shot of Gregory Sunshine running down the corridor with the submachine gun. He's got such a funny gait to him. Yes, they show up and they for their sins they get a bullet in the head each.
Gregory Sunshine shoots them, smiles at the dad, then shoots the dad.
Yes, because
it
looks like the dad's about to try and freeze them to try and save their lives. Particularly because once he's dead, everybody else who's been paralyzed is suddenly unparalyzed.
Oh yeah.
We kind of knew it was the dad the whole time, and they were trying not to give up that the freezing, the stasis power was their dad's. But he does take off one of his gloves to try and presumably freeze his sons. But that kind of releases the other guy. So I think it's like what was your man in One Piece? If he touched the thing, he could then throw it at you and it would always hit you.
Vanderdecken.
Vanderdecken, yeah. So I assume it's like if I wear a glove, then I can't touch you to freeze you. So all those heroes are locked up as long as I wear the glove, basically. Something like that, anyway.
Something like that. Or either that, or he gets shot and the power wears off.
And him dying does it. Yeah, one or the other, basically.
Coincidentally, either would work.
I guess we don't have to worry too much about how his power works at this point.
Because he's fucking dead.
He's fucking dead. And when Dad is fucking shot and dying in the snow, his counterpart is at least incapacitated in one of the back lab rooms. All these carefully calculated plans to manipulate this secret drug lab to make a super power enhancing drug is all gonna fuck. Gregory Sunshine is just, he says, "Out in the wind, I got all this stuff, money. I don't know what it's for. I'm gonna fucking probably sell it or just start some shit with it. And I'm back, baby. I'm back. Oh yes.
Yeah.
And he turns his
wash my hair in 6
hair.
months. It's kind of something like that naturally because it's so disgusting.
Yeah.
He turns his nasty, greasy long hair into like the ugliest pompadour I've ever seen. Possibly.
I assume he's an old. He looks like the old Ted who used to own the barber that I went to. At that point. Yeah, he's a late middle-aged man with a quiff who has managed to come out on top of this entire story that he was physically dragged into against his will.
I think it's again the Ouroboros thing of they just see people as pawns or people who control pawns, and they didn't consider it's like, Gregory Sunshine has his own things going on. With a name like Gregory Sunshine, obviously there's shit going on behind his thing. So him shooting up the place and stealing a shitload of drugs is just like, it's all going Gregory Sunshine's way, basically.
He's just so happy for him to be out of it. He's just going, oh, this shit. Mwah. Oh.
Yeah, I love the ending because it's the closest it's been to like an Elmore Leonard story of the villains are come undone because their ambition outstretched their ability, and the fact
they got sentimental.
Yes,
that got
as well.
That
definitely got him a little bit. And the heroes kind of win just through just grace, but I did appreciate it. It's like, oh, they were found dead, shot with a third unidentified individual, and I was like, that guy has an Ouroboros tattoo on his fucking hand. How did you guys not present that to the heroes? They're like, should we look into this? It's like the cops will look into that. Don't worry about that.
I'm sure there's Ouroboros agents in the cops. That's probably why.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then you have a side character who's the one who comes out on top. But there's more episodes apparently due later this year, which kind of can only mean
so in October,
sometime in October, September. September 1st is JoJo's, isn't it? That's
Yep.
Okay, so
we'll get most of that scene 2 before or just at the beginning of
most of it through.
The avalanche. But it's happening even worse than last year. They crammed everything in our particular niche of interest is just colliding together into a super dense mass.
I think it's because it's the biggest season, and that's where they put the big shows, and we like the big shows.
Yeah.
We're men of taste.
Well, it's come around for what the big shows have now become what our tastes are, or they are the ones that are getting the big attention, the good treatment.
Yeah, I think I was trying to make a list of like what would be my top 4 shows per year, and as I get past earlier than 2007, it gets a bit of a struggle, and as I get past, as I hit 2002, I'm like, I can only name 3 shows I like from 2002, and one of those I gave up on because I stopped liking it.
That's not good.
Yeah. There's like something to be said there for the frequency of things getting made, their opportunity to be made, and also as well just like the expansion of taste and what you're willing to accept. Or you're seeing this like over time the evolution of certain forms.
Yes.
And I'm fine with the direction this is going in. I think it's like coming into more something that's true to itself.
Yeah, as I was going through that, I was like maybe Anno did have a point of him saying, well, I didn't see anything I liked in anime, so that's why I had to do Eva again that was 07, wasn't it? So he might have had a point, and that might have done something, even though that 07 rebuild is very much just mostly doing the same thing again. But people would argue, but worse.
But like I know it's basically like partway through a season, and they were setting up stuff like with the Mystic and with Gregory Sunshine and all that other stuff. Like, how did you find this Tiger and Bunny?
I liked that it ended on an ending. Which more than we can say about another thing we'll be talking about this week on its season break.
Yeah.
It came to a good end.
Like my only problem with it is like Double Decker was so fucking good, and it was kind of like, this is more Tiger and Bunny. I like Tiger and Bunny, but it's like it didn't have the same kind of energy that had like coming in,
Yeah, Double Decker certainly raced to a very outlandish premise, and I think with this now, there's something to kind of trying to reintroduce these characters again to an audience again. When after they should have been done like at least from 5 years ago, if they kind of capitalize on it a bit more. But nonetheless, they spent the time to kind of reintroduce them reintroduce them again. All these kind of various superheroes, but also in the pairings that they're in to kind of see how they're playing off against that. And if you really enjoy his characters, or you're familiar with them even a little bit, which I think to an extent we all were, you'd be more okay with it because it's I won't mind seeing a little bit more about how are like Sky High and Fire Emblem are getting along. That seems an unlikely duo. And they're getting along, strangely, but then they figure it out at the end with some good advice from our good friends Tiger and Barnaby.
Because like for the most part, this season was very and I mean this as a compliment, but it can be taken as a potential flaw in it as well. It was very like comfort watching. Like it was very like, let's hang out with a bunch of fun superhero characters, that kind of thing. Yeah. But the stakes, while there was like, the twins are getting closer, they're getting closer every episode. And the fight in this episode was good. Like it felt kind of earned and everything, but it was just kind of like, let's just hang out with these guys for a while, and that's nice. But that isn't going to light a lot of people's world on fire.
Now that's all. It's kind of there's a lot more kind of laid in place now, and now we have an agent out in the world who's going to be the main antagonist, who's a much more of a chaotic factor than the kind of organized Ouroboros thing. If we're going to get more sustained, it's going to be fucking set piece out the wazoo to the close of this probably.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
assume we'll also get some more stuff. We'll get whatever that little aurora thing is that really they blew up big in your face in this episode when our villains looked out the window and gazed upon it. Or was that last episode? And then that was last episode. And I assume Kaide going to superhero school will also play a part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we might actually get some real. What's your man's name? I can't think of his super anti-hero name.
Lunatic.
Lunatic.
Lunatic. Yes. Because obviously the only lunatic we get is like he destroys his own proposal to dissolve the buddy system with his superhero fire, basically.
I suppose people need buddies after all. If only I had a buddy. Anybody, please. No, that's okay.
I'll just call Barnaby and Katetsu into my office again, as he seemed to like to do a lot in this first half of the series.
In my office right now. Can I fix you a cup of tea, chai, anything? How's your love life going? Please. I need this.
He's not the very hard police chief. No.
Anyway, on to another Netflix thing which didn't air this week, but a week ago, so not quite as long. It is Spriggan, episode 1, Flame Serpent.
Yeah.
In which the 90s comic Spriggan is taken into 2022 with all the references updated, so it's no longer a Cold War story, but it's still very much a Cold War story. Just have to pretend it's a Cold.
I mean, like, to be fair to now.
I mean, they waited long
today,
enough for
Is
another
Russia
Cold
still
War
a
to
problem?
start
I
again.
think Russia is still a problem, so it's totally appropriate to not change
It's
that
back,
one fucking jot.
baby.
Everyone has tablets now. That's nice. There's a few other updates.
All the better, they got pour all ancient scrolls. They got them all digitized and like in a handy like storage. You know, just flip through them at your leisure. Zoom in. We do a whole zoom and enhance. You know, a bit more legitimately this time.
So the premise is that millennia ago, before the current human civilization, there were many civilizations of Earth who done fuck things up. And so they've left a message to the people who would come after them to say, we left all these very dangerous artifacts all over the planet. If you think your planet is your civilization is in such a state that they can handle such a thing, then go ahead and use them. Otherwise, we beg of you, hide them away, destroy them. We don't do what we did.
Don't fuck up like we did.
And so,
which is
happened to you.
This message has fallen into the hands of the Arkham Corporation, and they have special agents called Spriggans who they assign to go and protect these items from. I guess they're like organizations. There's the Machinists Army is the one, or Machinist Platoon or whatever it is introduced in the first.
One CIA working on the US Army,
Yes.
like machine, the one cyborg unit, and then you have a similar kind of thing where they're indulging in, like, you know, we have especially genetically engineered operatives on the Russian / the USSR side.
like
and
we basically get like
Three
3 different dangerous organizations in this episode. Like the opening one has like a guy who's like kind of a religious zealot, essentially.
Yeah, but I don't think that's.
He's part of the US because he says he's in the machine corps.
But that's what I'm saying. Like he's got his
gone off his own on his own tangent. Yeah.
He's got his own separate fucking thing that he's thinking. That's what I'm saying. Like it's different from the other 2 organizations, which are the guy's like part of this ancient tribe that kept Mount Fuji in check, and also Russia is the other one, the Russian army, basically. Yeah.
It mostly follows this dude. He was like their top Spriggan. I'm an IU. He's just your average like 16-year-old Japanese high school student, except he's like athletically like superior and just like one of the top artists. You know,
he's got a super muscle suit.
He's very, very cocky attitude. You know, fucking does his own thing, but goddamn it, if he doesn't get results, even though he's only 16 years old, so he's frequently absent from school and saying, "Sorry, I gotta go and do a thing." He's after saving the world from. I really have a soft spot for this kind of it's the as they call it the Alpes artifacts or the OOParts. I think that anime and manga just kind of does so well. Is a particular way they manage it. I think it's like you're in your own thing. You've got to find like the Arctic Covenant, some kind of like
magical thing
object
or something. Yeah.
in the contemporary day, no, it's a real kind of pulp adventure where this ancient artifact is causing like havoc in the modern era, and just kind of run with that. But it's married as well with like as kind of seen with the Cold War, it's kind of this like alternate history, kind of military fiction story, kind of married into it. So in that sense, it's a lot like, often the comparison is like is something like Metal Gear Solid, where you have got cyborgs, you got like intergovernmental kind of stealth espionage skullduggery married into the supernatural, ancient like power that's been reawakened in a modern day to undo us all.
It's a nice combination of like that kind of cyberpunk aesthetic where they have like technology that is beyond what we have now and can do cool shit, and also just crazy stuff that is technically technology but is so ancient and unknown it's basically magic at this stage.
But I really like how they, even in our opening sequence here, where it's like it's like an average day in the life of Amon Yu. He's going in there to take care of these fucking guys who've uncovered an artifact.
They found the orb. We must stop them. The orb.
The orb.
We don't know what the orb does.
Orders regarding bodyguard. It is the biblical like Megiddo flame, which scorched Sodom and Gomorrah, but its actual thing is like it expands and creates like a lens of air in the atmosphere that's like kilometers long, and as soon as the sun rises, it'll just incinerate like a big magnifying glass anything under its path.
The idea that it will ignite the atmosphere or something, basically. Yeah.
Well, it's at the kind of put again, that's a very it's much kind of came out as one little object here. It kind of seems like it's supernatural and magical how it kind of does it now, but it's using like a kind of science of which kind of appear like it's raining down hellfire from above, from heaven, but it's just like basically an orbital like solar beam, solar death.
And that'd be a problem enough if not for this like American military guy who has sonic cyborg hands and has decided I want this to happen because that's what God fucking told me to do. That's the problem.
That's the other side of it too. Is like the ones who kind of believe in like the capacity of it. No, it's not just like was about what time onto an ancient super weapon that just like would use just for the express purpose of destroying or incinerating, perhaps terraforming. But now, because they've passed into legend, it's this thing. It has this meaning attached to it now. This is mentioned in the Bible, man. This is sacred. And it's not just like an ancient super weapon. It's now like the righteous power of the Almighty to be wielded in their name. So you get weirdos like that. So you kind of wonder as well. Yeah, the Americans are in it for the money, ostensibly, but are they also in it for like some kind of weird faith-based thing? Will they get into that in this thing? But maybe not. But it invites those questions, and I appreciate that.
So that's just the cold open. Then we go to the main story.
Just to establish there are artifacts, there's weirdos who want the artifacts to destroy the world, and also there's this guy who's going to punch the shit out of them.
Yes.
So great, we're all caught up.
We learn in the main story that he's 16 years old, as is the professor he's been sent to protect from both the CIA and the KGB who are after her.
Yeah, because she studied, she's Japanese, but she studied abroad to get her master's in ancient linguistics, I guess.
She's not right genius.
And she's been brought in by what's the corp that uses the Spriggans? The
Arkham.
Arkham want her in as like a specialist to translate this tomb that they found near Mount Fuji.
Under Mount Fuji, I believe, because they're
under Mount Fuji. Sorry, yeah.
And she agrees, but she wants help finding her childhood friend, Yu Ominai. Where could this Yu Ominai be?
It's it couldn't be this cocky young man in a bomber jacket that's lounging around the hotel room. This one saying, "Oh man, you rescued me from the fake pickup dudes at the airport, and actually took me to a real location." But he's too, the kid I remember, he was very considerate and kind. This guy's just kind of cocky and arrogant and all of himself. But he's got his heart in the right place because he's always there at the right time when he needs help.
I really appreciated a lot of the humor in this in general. That he does the cocky thing of like, I'm here to kick your ass, and then ass kicking ensues. But like a lot of the kind of funny dialogue between them was in moments where it made sense. Like she wasn't questioning his capabilities when he got her away from those kidnappers, But when he's driving the car, he's like, "Hey, I'm 16 too." It's like, wait a minute, can you even legally drive in Japan? You know, in moments where their lives were not under direct threat, they could make it the jokes, and everything else is just taken dead serious because there's guys with guns and cyborg enhancements and all kinds of shit. We don't want to make jokes in these moments.
Yes,
That was important. Yeah,
and also
he's getting thrown into that world. As you remarked, I just want to get this dig over with because I've seen so many people get killed already on account of me being here. I don't want to be involved in this. I saw a dude get fucking just like eviscerated by fucking Nanto Seiken by setting into fucking chunks of meat. And like she just goes and just faints. She faints as like anybody would after so much sustained pressure.
Because when the hotel gets attacked later, obviously everything that Spriggan does is he just beats people into submission. He doesn't actually kill anyone, seemingly. I mean, like, I think you can probably punch someone through a window and body slam them into an air duct when they're wearing, like, robotic enhancements on the outside. That's fine. But when another guy comes and slices those guys up into shish kebabs, it's kind of like, yeah, that's a little nastier for her. And obviously,
What about the enormous Russian commando? Like, he was just like, he is just this, like, he's 8 foot tall and 8 foot wide, even though we see him like in a more rational size earlier. But he's 2 tiny knives. I'm a knife guy. I'm enormous in this but I'm a knife
Imagine
guy.
how big those knives are, though. You know?
What a sweet fight. How do you feel as well with, I suppose, it's what's one of the noble points in the big lead up to this is that, they seem to be, at least for Amon IU in his combat mode anyway, leaning towards kind of CG style of it. But it's been married as well with like more traditionally animated like characters and other kind of bits of it as well. Did you think it came together okay?
Job. I think it did a really good job. Like I didn't mind like a lot of the cyborgy soldiers kind of bombing into the hotel, all having exactly the same character model, because it's like, that's not going to be very interesting to do. I don't mind the copy pasting.
They're not too important. Don't think about it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it was used where necessary. Like I thought it was used pretty well personally. Anyway.
I think the fight with him over the lava is interesting. I think he's CG, but the guy he's fighting is traditional animation.
It's a weird mix at times.
He can look a little bit robotic when they use the CG for just plain acting, particularly because you've got the other characters who are much more expressive than him around. Particularly, I'm just looking at a bit here where they're fighting in the lava, and his reaction to being sliced is less than the professor's reaction to seeing him being sliced, and the expression of the guy who just sliced him.
I think a thing that would have improved it is doing the thing of like the animated face over the CG body.
I think they were doing
probably
that
would have fixed it for him.
in times, but I'm assuming just
with the mouth more so because you gotta express with the mouth. When he's this in the mode of this, I'm here for punching a dude and or stabbing a dude. I think it comes across a lot better. Mostly because it's this well blocked out choreographed action. Honestly, that's what actually was the strength of it here. And
they do a really good job of like it basically setting up like the Jackie Chan style. Okay, there's a corridor fight, so he's going to run up the wall. He's going to jump between these guys. He's going to do a sweep kick on that guy. Like it really works very well. And obviously, them being CG allows them to plan that a lot better.
Because even this the fun hulking Russian Spetsnaz commando there, like Amon IU he's like a CG model, but the other dude is just officially animated. So like we've kind of like we've mitigated in one sense with one character. We had to go all the way with other one all the same, and similarly as well with the dude who's in it for himself at them here because my ancient tribe were the ones who ministered over the volcano of Mount Fuji and controlled the fire serpent dragon within. He's again kind of fighting against him, and he's doing similarly kind of very elaborate kind of action things, but then there's two different models interacting with each other. So it's maybe because of more so what like you was wearing his account very detailed like armored muscle suit. Which he just flexes out of his shirt at a regular. On a regular basis,
Thank God his pants stayed on. Yeah, it's a good funny bit, and I do appreciate the I guess it's a Dragon Quest reference now with the everything's made of orichalcum basically. If you wanted to show that it's really strong
I
material.
think that was
yeah.
mentioned, like, as far ago as when, which philosopher was always on about Atlantis? Was it fucking
Oh no,
Aristotle?
but I have to check the dates. I thought this one would be a reference to like Dragon Quest basically, but
No.
No, I
it'd
think
be
anyone
fun.
could,
Yeah,
anyone could make a reference.
that's
Figure it out.
public. Okay,
So,
you're good. You're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Well, but again, with how, like, the ancient legends, they have some kind of like through line, or there's a grain of fun truth in it anyway. Is we've heard about this, like, this flames over in Mount Fuji. Obviously it's going to come out, but you see, like, one, oh, it's got, like, the very Yoshinari Canada style, like, dragon made out of fire fun shooting around. But then you think 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got 8 heads, so that's like your Yamata no Orochi from the other Japanese.
Yeah,
So it all kind of like marries in together. There is just like this one traumatic cataclysmic event that kind of seeps its way and kind of lasts so long in the consciousness of a civilization. Which is kind of why there was at some point in the past a catastrophic flood, because there's so many flood legends mentioned in so many different like separate, like, civilizations and their mythologies and histories. And so, like, and again, it's taking like a very big kind of view of that. Like, you sums up like pretty well, and we was like having a little kind of tete-a-tete with professor in the forest there, like, yeah, things like, these like, like the Pire Rays map, and, like, the Nazca lines, stuff like that. Now, fun, so much kind of meaning kind of attached to them. First says, well, sure, like, but it's all been discredited, right? Yeah, but they still hold this wonder and mystery of them. It's kind of fun to kind of think about, and make up things for fun. And, if you don't know what they mean for sure, to find out what do they mean. It's just kind of fun to kind of speculate.
Or what is it, like, derived from? Like, it's based on something, but the legend's been told so many times they've forgotten the specifics of it.
And that's what kind of got to me, kind of me as well. That's kind of why I'm drawing this kind of story. Is that one? Yeah, it is kind of why. Well, I know this is absolute kind of nonsense. I know this total, like, airport fiction. This understands that so well, and even in the format that they've laid it out in, where rather than it being like, a 12 to 13 series, it's just a 6-part with 45 or so minutes per part, basically OVA series. Because this is like very much in that mode of how a lot of anime kind of got to us, at least in the earlier times. It's just like something that's, it's like, we say it's a one and done thing. It's more so thing done to promote sales of a particular comic. So if you want to find out any more happened in the end, you gotta buy the comic, which probably isn't available to you. Let's say the kind of punchiest, the kind of most action-packed, most, I guess, kind of Western-friendly things, i.e., lots of kind of like action sequences, lots of kind of guns and fights and stuff like that. But done up to the nines, and up to the max, as they can only do in their own way. And between this and another thing that we'll discuss in just a moment, just down the slate, it's just like, yeah, they've just kind of come back around again. The 90s are back, and it's 90s, not just in terms of what was hot that year in terms of film music, but also in, like, in very kind of niche cultural kind of picadillos. Where, yeah, I was around when this came out.
There is something satisfying about
come back around again.
There's something really satisfying about, like, the 40 or so minute episode that can do like a cold open, introduce characters and concepts, and then like have like a character arc for them over that time, like a really compact movie. There's something really nice about that. That, like, you kind of forget when it's like, oh yeah, this used to be the jam. Like, it was really fun to get into these. And again, the plot will continue, or the overall plot will continue, or a new adventure will happen, or whatever. But you're kind of satisfied in watching the one as well.
Yeah. Had you seen the film of this prior to Spriggan?
No, I don't think I have.
I've read the comic for the story we'll talk about next week.
Okay. Yeah, I seen the film. It came out, well, it was 98, 99 or so, and written by somebody else, but it was produced by Katsuhiro Otomo of Akira fame, and it happened to have the story that they adapt a psychic child in it, so it invited comparisons. And a little bit down to the character designs, they were
he's kind of style
as well.
Yeah, and and the one guy doesn't do the thing that he'll be doing next week, I believe.
No, there was like an old like
He-
Ammonite's colleague in Spriggan who was like the his
the French
gimmick is he's
agent, the one
French.
from the French department of the Arkham
He's French,
Corporation.
but also one more thing. You gotta give him one
Yes.
more thing to go on. It'd
Um,
be interesting to kind of see that because I have watched that one. This is one adapting the plot of that film. Then, or that film, I like it, but I can understand it's a bit too long, and there is some preamble to it. And it's because it's gotta be a film. We have to have this like plot thread, which is kind of incongruous from. We gotta make this like why hesitate on the villain. We gotta make it personal.
Right.
Whereas what we're presented it here in this version of the story, as it was in the comic one, saying it's just a dude here to do a job, and there's nothing in it. No, you're just like a psychic kid who's been updated from playing a Game Boy in the film to playing Switch in the modern era. You're just here for also your own ends. Well, I'm just gonna beat the shit out of you. It's my job.
I did.
Friggin'.
Even within the time, like it gets to spend enough time with him and the professor as a characters to kind of get a feel of them as people as well. Like I appreciated like him being like all cool. It's like, I've showed up on your balcony, Doc. Well, I guess we'll help find your friend. And he walks out the door and like the security guards are like, who the fuck are you? That he's still capable of being like a super cool, suave, smart ass. And it's just like, yeah, he will also just make a really dumb fucking mistake like a regular person. Yeah. It's nice.
Talking of dumb
Well, I love it.
smartasses, Bastards, heavy metal dark fantasy.
See, this did the
actually,
opposite
it's not
thing
that
of like
yet,
it would do.
I do apologise. That's third is Birdie Wing, but again, same things apply. Same words apply.
Yeah. If Birdie Wing was like an 80s action movie centered around golf, yeah, that would still work.
Birdie Wing Golf Girl Story, episode 13. I think who gets getting that vibrating noise coming from you again, Dwayne, for some reason.
Oh, what am I vibrating?
I don't know.
Virus on.
It's coming from inside the microphone. I think who gets what room is very important for girls, says the middle-aged man who writes these anime.
Says the phone like fucking this is a prestigious golf girls academy. You got 2 rooms. Are they 2 twin rooms? Nope. Just 2 double bedrooms. So you book a seat top to tail on the single bed.
I'm not entirely sure if that was the case, because she does say
no, because like
she was looking,
the other
she climbed.
The caddy
into
says
her
she
bed.
climbed into bed with me.
Yes.
So they both have double beds. They're it's supposed to be the doubles team stay in the same room because I mean like that's just practical in a hotel.
Yes.
I
But
guess.
these 2 are trying to fuck each other. They're fucking
that's
each
the
other on the
problem.
green for the last week. We gotta like cool them down. It'll take them off to their mind out the game.
Yeah, one
So
is definitely
the caddies like separating.
it's
rooms
like
with them,
completely
basically.
without question that AOE is totally in love with Eve. Eve is denying it throughout this episode, but she likes to tease AOE about it, is her excuse.
Like if it wasn't for the
So
fact
easy.
that she teases her incessantly, yeah, I would say she's nearly asexual. But she does tease her
Yes.
incessantly,
And
which makes me absolutely not.
also
Oh
climbs
no,
into the caddy's
she
bed.
knows how to
No,
work
no,
it.
no.
She knows how to work it.
Yes,
I can remember
that's the
when
thing.
she did fun saying, "Where are you gonna stay tonight, Eve?" This is just goes 1 minute. Hey baby, you want to go down the pool hall? No, I know, good fun.
Yeah,
she
picks up the nearest
taken out.
the nearest school golf students that she sees, basically. Yeah. She knows how to work it.
Yes. So before the credits even roll, she has kissed AOE. Eve has kissed AOE. Of which the AOE's caddy is furious, and Eve's caddy is all of a fluster, and declares that lilies are blooming. And yes, then we get, and then the story. This is really the first episode of the next season. It's not the last
really
episode of this
confusing.
season, because
No.
all of a sudden,
Because it tries to do is like, and then they will go on to have more adventures in this arc. Basically,
also
that we're setting up.
we'll now start on all the adults' plot lines.
Yeah, at the end of the show.
Here's the coach. Here's the coach of on the not the top school, the guy middle of the school, but insane. Yes, it's fun. You here with your hip flask and your fucking 5 o'clock shadow. I can tell you're a washout who should have amounted to more. Hey, Amber O'Ray, leave me alone. I'm just here supporting my girls. They don't need me to instruct them. Oh, is that so?
Also,
And
Amber,
we
why
got-
are you so keen for these two first years to win this tournament? Surely you should just train them for 3 years if they're so good, and put them into national tournaments.
I don't have that much time.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, well,
What could this mean?
I mean, like implied terminal golf illness, I suppose.
yes,
But yeah,
so he's dying of golf.
He's got golf elbow.
Yeah.
Oh my
dear
God.
Lord.
it's the
terminal
worst case I've ever seen.
terminal case of the yips.
It's moved to his brain.
Oh dear.
The yips are spread throughout his entire body. Um, so this is and so we've got that situation. We've got the situation that it turns out that the top golfer from the top golfing school, whose tutor is apparently only there for appearances, does not teach them golf whatsoever, does golf in the same way that how his dead dad did golf. As of course, if the dad is actually dead and is not secretly alive training this girl.
Because he's nowhere near the mother, who seems very insistent on getting her daughter out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the drunk coach rings up the mother to tell her about Amaru's situation, or ask her about Amaru's situation, which she seems that she might be aware of. So
Oh,
is she really doing this for her daughter, or is she really doing it for him?
Yeah, because she has been quite distant with her daughter. Has she interacted with her daughter at all besides talking to her caddy?
Well,
Make sure she
is
gets the
that her
best.
real fucking daughter? I mean, it's
Yeah.
gonna be real fucked up when these two who are making goo eyes with each other find out they're half sisters at some point.
No, dude, that just makes it hornier. I'm afraid to say that's just gonna make it.
That's
forbidden love.
or that's a
Stepsisters.
really big misdirect.
Yes.
And
It could be. It
put
could
the
be.
entire real altogether. That's no fun. Based on what we know, that's certainly a possibility.
It's certainly a possibility.
gonna
Also,
arrive
we
on.
learned that the Shah golfer isn't just some sort of weird underground golfer. He's known among golfing areas because the drunk is surprised when he first sees Eve's shot, and he's like, "It's Leo's, whatever his surname is,
Just like him.
just like him."
It's his bullet style,
Yes.
in the same way that Aoi recognizes, like and sees a superimposed image of her dad over this teenage golfer, and goes like, "That's just exactly the way my dad used to golf."
Yes, I wonder because we get the
Yeah.
flashback of him telling her to destroy her opponents. I wonder if the drunk guy was destroyed by him at some point, and that's why he's in the condition that he's
Oh, that's why he turned to drink. Yeah.
in.
See it every day.
Never recovered.
And it also begs the question: if he's a legitimate golfer, why his face covered in scars?
He was in the Gulf War.
The bullets are flying, man. That's how it was back then. Rapid fire.
I get hit by a green bullet, a blue bullet. Yeah.
There wasn't idiots. We didn't have time to wait around.
I really want them to say that there was a Gulf War. That I just fucking do it, lads. Fucking go.
There was
Cyborg golfers in
a
war.
library war. Why not a golf war?
Yes, there's a line about Aoi's family, which makes me wonder if they're going to somehow be involved in organized crime themselves in this episode.
Right,
About how
right.
they're ruthless. I think
But they're legitimate crime, basically.
Yeah, but I wonder if the granddad is fully legitimate. Just also
control the
because
media.
when you watch the opening credits, as I have done more closely as it got to the end, because I've been watching some Pro Golfer Saturday, of which this does not even touch the nonsense that thing gets up to. We have not had a golfer who uses a nunchuck set of golf clubs, and is also based on Bruce Lee, to have
Give it time.
have a tournament through the mountains. Nor have we had a sniper who attaches a scope to his clubs and gets people.
Surely that would be only useful for putting.
I guess he gets people to load golf balls into like the machines you like to fire baseballs out for batting cages, but he gets them to like pull them as if they were clay pigeons, and then he hits all the golf balls to smash the golf balls as if he's shooting clay pigeons, but with golf balls. Anyway,
the difference here is they're actually are trying to promote golf to the extent that they do have like 2 golf supervisors to make sure that the golf is played, while outrageous, It's still within the boundaries of the
But
rules.
there's things in the opening credits there's one shot which is very pro girl for Saru, where she is appearing to have to get to a hole on the top of a cliff. Yes.
Yes.
I assume that's a literal thing and not a you must overcome this wall. It's like no. You literally have to golf through this wall. That kind of way.
Golfing in a hurricane. It's in there too.
Yeah.
As well as all the other girls and women who she's not met yet and destroyed through golf. There's also a bunch of sinister-looking men in the opening credits who we've not met yet.
And I presume they won't be playing against them because they're generally playing like under 15s tournaments and shit.
They seem to be next to the granddad in the imagery.
Yes.
Which does make me think, because of the line, I was like, is it going to turn out that the people they've been fighting at the start of the story are somehow connected to her would-be girlfriend? Or not, because she might not actually be related to any of those people she thinks are a family. As the trailer suggests, by she's going, "Who am I?" Anyway, all they do this episode is destroy people who are barely drawn in the background in various golf matches.
Yeah.
And mostly what it's kind of doing is showing like their different styles, which is obviously Eve's just like, I'm just gonna fucking hit it as hard as I can. You fucking follow up, and her going like, no, we should have like played before the bunker rather than just seeing if we could drive it past the bunker. And I mean, their scores are still good, but the other teams are better at teamwork.
Yeah, well,
unsurprisingly,
one of them's better, and then the other one pulls up to the other two on the second day.
Yeah.
And then the key thing at the end is they agree that if Eve messes up, if Aoi messes up, she's got to buy Eve a burger, and if Eve messes up, she'll give Aoi a kiss.
And Eve is delighted for the sheer amount of burgers she feels she's going to get, and not at all for the kisses she's going to impart.
I can't lose. I never lose. Except for
Yes.
the time when I put it in the bunker, just like she said. But also, Aoi put it in the bunker as well. So we're both fuck ups. We probably stop focusing on the game. Less so about making Google eyes at each other.
And yes, driving the cat is insane. And also the team captain, who seems to have a crush on the coach.
Oh yeah, because she wanted the bunk with him. Yeah.
Separate rooms. Jesus Christ. You're costing my job.
Yeah.
This is what I mean.
So I assume the second season is going to be this tournament, and then whatever brings us to meet the other characters, and probably be
in that
and
lineup.
then I guess against themselves as well, because I imagine the other tournament will be solo, not doubles. And we'll probably be on strokes rather than match play, which is what they're doing here. And then I assume Mafia and adult drama.
The assassins are still out there.
More cyborgs, more golf assassins. That's all I want, Yeah.
Then we got The Demon Girl Next Door, Season 2, Episode 12, A Ritual in Darkness, The Demon's New Ally. And this story, they go inside Mikan to go and find the familiar, which was summoned both badly and also too well.
It protects her, but like it destroys everything around her, so that's a little too good. Yeah.
And it is Oogaloo, the Mesopotamian big weather beast, a lion-headed storm demon that has the feet of a bird.
No, this is some sort of red panda girl,
yes,
or something like that, or a raccoon or something.
But it's, I say here, the Wikipedia, their function is to intervene in moments of disaster in a person's life, which is what it's trying to do.
But it's doing it too much.
Because it was badly summoned, it can't see externally outside of Mikan's body, so just reacts to her emotions to protect her.
So if her heart rate elevates, if she's too happy or too anxious or whatever, it's gonna say, I'm gonna make disaster for everything around you, but not you. Also, it was slightly confused by the writing of the summon. Also, it was slightly confused by the lemon-flavored chicken, which was used to summon it. It was like, why the fuck was it lemon-flavored? I'm a beast. I don't like lemons. But the family's like, we gotta put lemon on it.
But they put citrus fruit on everything.
Yes.
So that's the first half. He's then bargaining with Oogaloo. because basically they want to
They've
save.
managed to summon her from the waist up. She doesn't have any
Yes.
legs, which is difficult to tell if she's sitting or not in any given
And
situation. But
she was just going to, once she'd had it explained to her, she was like, okay, then I will just dissolve and say goodbye. And then, no, we don't want to see you dissolve. We can figure this out. So, and the second half is then figuring it out as all the characters get together to redo the summoning and properly bind Oogaloo into a form rather than binding it into the person it's supposed to be protecting.
all the characters, including some of the randomly, I don't think named up to this point, girls, regular human girls in the class, perform a demon summoning ritual.
Yes.
Like Friends. That's great. I think my favorite in the first part was the fact that our demon girl like basically uses up all her magical power immediately to whip this demon into shape by using a giant mixer. And so it's like you got to do the negotiation, but do not beat her up. Okay, that's not allowed. And every now and again, like coming back to consciousness to tell her off, and then fainting again immediately after telling her off at anything that Momo tries and fails to do.
And the second half's best gag is the occultist girl explaining how to summon her and bind her, but explaining how difficult it's going to be because you're going to need all these things. It's going to take her ages to order them, and of course, every single thing is within like half an hour's
easily accessible
distance away. Most of it at the
I mean, like,
cafe.
we could probably get some demonic food from like made by a demon who's really good at making food, but I mean, like, it'll take like 2 days, like fucking Amazon delivery kind of thing. It's like, no, I know one down the restaurant I work. It's like, oh, but we will need like the fur of a tail of a magical beast. And it's like, what's a magical beast? It's like, you know, a beast that can understand human speech. Oh yeah, I know one of those. He runs the restaurant. It's like, fucking what? But we need soil from like a magical area. I brought soil from that magical area we were in a couple of episodes. Everything is just like, yeah, it's right there, easily accessible.
Yeah, and I guess that was just one 4-panel gag for that entire thing because it's the question and then 3 beats. Yeah, that was
yeah.
So yeah, there's the fun stuff of pulling the fur out of the tapirs butt, and the fox girl has put him in bondage on a table in order to do this because she wanted to see the expressions he would make as she pulled the hair out of his tail.
So I've established there's 2 evil characters. One is the fox girl, and the other one is the one who makes the potions and everything. Because now she's living in their crawl space. She's installed a ladder there.
She also builds them.
She's charging them.
She built them for everything.
That's evil.
Else,
that's pure fucking evil.
Apart from the gem that she stole off them.
Yeah, bullshit. Just putting Momo into debt, and she's really worrying about the financial situation.
She did know how to do this properly, and they woke the little sister up to help as well. Yeah, they got the other girls from the festival committee to come and help.
Because they'd help in drawing the evil runes out in the garden properly this time.
Yeah. And they successfully do it, and they've got a new character now.
She's slightly confused as to, wait, what's my purpose? What's my job? Like, it's like, your purpose is to find a job. There you go. That's your new job, is to find a job, and also technically your family, because you were living inside me for 10 years. So yeah, you're going to live with me. So there's a small precocious monster child that is just doing things around the neighborhood and insisting on it, which is just like, that works.
Also, she insists on calling our main character boss.
Because she said that she was the demon boss of the town.
Yes. And also all these people came to do her commands. So she's pretty close to being what she said she was. So why would this small precocious demon not believe her? So I guess that will set up some new funny situations. And I guess while they've met most of the cast, she hasn't met the tapir yet, or the fox girl, because they picked the food up. She didn't come along. So
yeah, there's still some meets and interactions that'll be fun to get into.
Yeah, it was. I was like, oh, they successfully found another finale after they did the main finale halfway through the series.
Yeah, and it's a big thing because obviously it gets rid of her curse and makes a brand new character to have some more fun interactions with. And it does establish that, is she becoming the demon lord of the town? It's like, and even Mom was kind of like, yeah, this is basically how my sister would have handled it. Half-assedly summon a fucking demon and just go like, live in town, demon. I don't fucking care. It's very haphazard, and it's exactly how the previous magical girl who ran the fucking joint used to run it. So perfect.
Oh yeah. Also, while Oogaloo does call her boss, she also points out how puny her tail is all the time.
It's a disrespectful honorific. Yeah.
Well, because Sukulu's got like a big fluffy
Powerful tail. Yeah.
red panda tail growing out the back of her head.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they made it out of clay. I think it was briefly mentioned, the body that she's in.
She's in a superior version of what the ancestor has been
That's
in,
it, yeah.
which is why it was so expensive, apparently.
Then the thing I preemptively talked about earlier, Bastards, episode 1, The Arrival.
Bobby?
It's got a longer title on Netflix. What's it
Heavy
called?
metal dark fantasy.
I made the mistake of watching Spriggan first and quite enjoying it, and then watching this where all of the characters behave sillily in very serious situations, and I was just like, can you not, lads? Can you just pack it in for 5 fucking minutes
No,
until
they
we
need
take care of
to.
this demon invasion? No?
Gotta remind you what Shonen Jump used to be like.
Yeah.
I've watched. Either of you watched the OVAs for this?
I meant
A long
to
time ago.
do it in time for this, even knowing this is coming, even knowing this is going to come up, but I still fucking didn't because there was too much other contemporary fun stuff I was watching.
Yeah.
I'm aware of it, but I'm aware as well that it got so far, and well, it wasn't enough comic made yet, so it just stopped.
It just petered out. Yeah.
Yes, I looked when the comic goes off the rails. I don't think they'll get as far as that, which I believe I was led from the Anime News Network forums, is once they introduced a character called Porno Diana, I believe her name is.
Good name.
Which is around the time they get bumped out of Jump and into a different comic.
Well, I was reading here that like what was maybe kind of at the main female lead here gets killed off screen in a break in the comic.
What?
But it's so don't set too much stock by this. Enjoy the ride.
Yes.
It's not gonna last.
Yeah.
Yes, because there isn't an ending. It's still technically ongoing.
Jesus.
But
okay.
Strange choice. Maybe they'll just like end this like make a nice tidy story here. Maybe again it's like what Naito was like thinking is going to do with Trigon. It's like come at this a different way and come at with some kind of a button on it.
Yeah.
We'll
So I think this is
leave it at that.
This is also being adapted by the same guy who writes Birdie Wing Golf Girl Story.
Which is hornier?
Yusuke
That's the
Kuroda.
question.
That is the question. I did go and look at. I reminded myself what Valkyrie Drive was like this week, and I was like, "Oh no, that's definitely hornier than either of these two things." But now I can't.
Again, because it's like no actual like legitimate like golf like supervisor is there on hand. You can't do anything that's too salacious that would impugn a good golf.
Yes.
Up to and including maybe what Vipair was doing. That's the limit of it. Maybe. Well, if a sexy lady has to unzip her like the front of her top for the name of proper golf, then so be it.
I feel like Birdie Wing comes across as these characters are horny teenagers. Haha, what fun characters they are. They're all horny. We're supposed to laugh at them because they're being silly and horny. Whereas in this is like you're supposed to be leering at it. Like
it's
a different direction. Yeah.
Here's your Frank Frazetta by way of like Japanese manga, and no, as the name would imply, or sort of imply, heavy metal dark fantasy. It's like it's about an album cover with sick babes in chainmail bikinis. They're all like lounging over the King of Hell and shit, and it's totally rad.
I think it's more Vagello than Frazetta because of the main person who is naked in this episode is Dark Schneider himself.
Yeah, true.
Well, he keeps exploding out of his clothes. Does he explode twice or 3 times out of his clothes? At least twice.
Is that meant to be a 15-year-old boy?
He's supposed to be the same age as Yoko, but he does not seem to have hit puberty yet.
Is that where to go? That's what the Shedrick here church to get the dark army.
Like he appears to be like a younger than 10-year-old. He would be.
Anyway,
it'd be fine if it could be like fun, like one like 8-year-old child. He's happy to be the vessel for this, like huge fun dark emperor. He's meant to be, because he's so nice. Because that's why I want to care after him. Because that's like a bit like Devilman. That inherent goodness is what tempers the ego, the influence that comes upon him when he's in his other form. It's different.
And similar to Spriggan, it's also there was an ancient society. Everything went to shit, and we're picking up the pieces after
Yes.
that. Except the Ancient Society looks like us, except no, it was a fucking demon still that came and wrecked shit. And now there's been magical wars in the meantime.
Yes, there was like a
Damn
giant
it.
machine called the Dark, was it? I think that's what it was called. And then a
Yeah,
dragon
darker
ship.
darkness.
Dark God Anthrax. I guess we spent too much time listening to those heavy metal records, and
The
we were
speed,
smoked down
the
for it.
speed at which, and how the size of the all names are coincidental. They're not based on anything real because they're about to say Metallicana
Yes.
an awful lot throughout this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 400 years after the world was destroyed in a battle between this Final Fantasy-esque villain and a dragon, which then dumped out Dark Schneider into the world. We get a flashback of our main heroine's dad, Yoko, explaining that giving her a spell on how to release the dangerous sorcerer Dark Schneider. He is bound, I guess, inside a baby in the past, which is Lucian now. This spell, in order to release him, if you ever need to use him to as a last resort. Meanwhile,
if everything's gone to absolute shit, just say the spell. He's the kiss of a virgin. So if you're going to do this, unfortunately, you're going to have to, keep that going.
I think in the OVA, the joke is that in the OVA they added a joke that where she's 80% a virgin is her claim.
Like third base or something, I guess.
Like
yeah.
One finger.
I remember that. Of all the things, I remembered him running off to get a cloth, which I think must have been in the OVA.
You gotta go.
Yeah, so they get attacked by Osborne and
his Dark Rebel Army.
Yes.
Or
Norman Osborn.
Yeah, that's definitely who they're referencing there.
Yes.
Sure.
And they want to raise Dark Schneider. And in order to defeat them, we must raise Dark Schneider. And so kisses Lucian, and he turns into this huge, naked, long-haired man who then disposes of these villains post-haste.
Well, I mean, initially he's like, I don't have to do this at all. Also, I'm still Lucian, but also I am Dark Schneider because I'm reborn into Lucian. So, and you wonder like, well, then I can just berate you like you're the small child that I regularly berate, and that'll work. And it does.
Yes.
She berates him into saving the day by murdering like a shitload of monsters, basically. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
For all the different incantations, yes, it does, which are like related or otherwise to heavy metal bands. They also do the same thing, which is they make things blow up real good.
It's just different kinds of
much
blowing
variety
up.
in there. One said, "Oh, it's a spell. It's forbidden spell. Only Dark Schneider dares to incant. Like the other spells, this blows you the fuck up, but bigger this time."
I mean, like one of the spells that they man was like really
at the band, so he's risking copyright infringement by saying it out loud. So that's how much of a badass he is.
One of the spells that Osborne was particularly distraught that this guy could do, because only Dark Schneider could do that, is summon clothes onto his naked body. I guess he's making something from nothing, so that's pretty impressive. But I feel like exploding those two fucking ogres was more impressive. But that's
They're
just
taking away the livelihoods of some good tailorings and cloth merchants there. Oh, that's how much of a villain he is.
Anyway, quickly finds some clothes again and legs it. And Yoko's like, where are you going? Well, first of all, I'm going to go and kill your dad. There.
For sealing me in a baby. Then I'm going to take over the world. And, I don't know, third thing. Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you're a terrible man, but I'm falling for you. I'm falling for you. You've put a spell on me. You've cast a charm spell. No, I haven't done that. And they end up kissing, and she turns him back into Lucian again. And she's like, ha! Gotcha. Not only can my kiss release you, it can seal you back up again. That's the premise of the comic established.
For performances, well, I've got here, we got Kishotani, yeah, but he's your Dark Schneider. He's a good, like, he could be like, no, a totally intense badass. But he's the second one, no! I'm a villain. Yeah.
He has a good,
very sneery quality to it.
He has a good, very loud, villainous like comedy fucking laugh,
Yes,
basically.
yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his performance is definitely spot on for the character.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like it a lot because of how late 80s Shonen Jump it is, and how Shonen Jump is not this anymore, and so it's nice to see
No,
a
It is a little fucking
contrast.
time
Yeah,
capsule. Yeah, for sure.
it is
Mm.
for her when Lucas is in a hospital and saying, "I don't want to kiss him because that's too embarrassing." He had to kiss him to awaken like the sorcerer was to stop us from getting killed by fucking demons right now. Do you understand? And say, "No, not in front of everybody like now."
She's in a room where people are currently being murdered by orcs and demons and shit, and she's still like, "Oh, it's so embarrassing." It's like, stop it.
Then the
Fucking
princess comes forward, in her gown. It's just like a slim
barely in
piece,
her
just
gown.
one saying, "Please, for the people, for the kingdom, won't you save us?" But again, that's part of the whole thing. It's about like
Yeah,
heavy
yeah.
metal, like one babe slinked across, like the throne of the king of hell. It's all totally
Mm.
red and totally badass.
Also, she's called Princess Sheila.
Well,
Sheila,
she's the second princess, so she's not very important. Like she's a backup princess in case the first princess
it's a right Sheila.
falls, I guess. Yeah.
So yeah, we've got 30 episodes of this season, and then there'll be another 13 down the line.
Hmm.
What a bastard.
Which I think that will just cover the good stuff before it goes off the rails. If you want to see how far it goes off the rails, just look up the bastard fandom wiki for description of that porno Diana character, and then we go like, that's never going to air on Netflix. Oh, sorry, porno Diana.
Yeah, but that's standard still.
It's Diano is her name. She's a level 700, sorry, 170,000 level angel and a level 805,000 level demon.
Oh, she multi-class.
Yes,
Okay.
there you go. I guess they'll start giving out D&D levels at some point in this. It's very D&D as well is the other the big thing. Anyway, that was Bastard. On to a entirely different fantasy story, also, but from the same era of Shonen Jump. It's Dragon Quest, The Adventure of Dai,
What?
episode 84, Rise, Knight of Destiny, in which the magic furnace accidentally raises Dai's power levels by pushing him too far. As well,
and the engineer, basically.
yes, the engineer, and I can't remember his name. He's basically a troll. He's the troll design.
A drum for a tummy.
Yes, with a few things to make it. I guess they'd been told off by Toriyama at this point for just nicking his art wholesale. So maybe they're just having.
There's so many ways you can draw slime, Toriyama. Come on, give him a little slack here. All right.
Yeah, so he's the guy in charge of the furnace. He's got a very annoying speech impediment. He's got a very annoying
Keep saying
voice.
drum, basically.
Yeah. And hopefully this is the last thing we see.
And he's got notions above his station as well, obviously.
Yeah, he doesn't want to fight Dai to begin with, but...
And he's basically like, hey, like, the only one keeping Leona from getting eaten is me, because I'm trying to control it, but I'm just barely keeping it from sucking out all of her magical power. So you can't kill me because I'm too important. He's like, cool, I'll just kill the engine. And he's like, well, you can't kill the engine because then I'll get fired.
Yeah.
But if I
now I have
you,
to fight you.
That means if that can burn, will actually promote me even further. I don't be his standing, so I'm gonna hold it down with my gravity powers. Which is how I keep the engine running. Or
King Vern is kind of like just stop fighting him. He'll only get stronger if you fight him. Just leave him the fuck alone.
To begin with, Vern's like, oh, this is very disappointing. I thought you had more than that in your die. I thought you could beat this
he thinks
guy.
He's gonna get taken out.
Bummer.
That guy's a punk. He's not even a fighter. Why are you losing to him, Dai? What the fuck?
He's finished all the wine. He's gone. It's kind of depressive stage. It's just like, oh man, maybe this won't be so fun after all. Oh, I shouldn't have had the last one. Oh man.
But then Dai accesses his father's memories and sees his mother and realizes it is not just his power which flows through him. It is also his father's, and opens up another dragon crest on his hand. got 2 dragon. And this is the point where Vern's like, "No, slow down. What are you doing?"
Well, hold on. Stop. No. I wanted to do want a good fight. I didn't want that good of a fight. No,
Listen, I'm
too
great
much.
because I can throw like 2 spells at once, but now he has 2 Dragon Crests, 1 in either fist. That's like my thing. That makes him actually a threat for me. I wasn't scared of him up to this point. Now I'm a
I
little
want to
fucking
fight
scared.
and I could win. No. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm anxious. Oh, I'm nervous. Yeah,
But yeah,
and he fucks up the engine. His phone cuts it right through, which presumably means that the castle is falling out of the sky, and then something else is going to get in the way.
it might be held in place by the spell that is holding it in place, because basically that's why the engine freaked out in the first place, because it couldn't move because of Kaglimmer. So maybe Kaglimmer is also holding it still. I don't know.
Yeah, he beats the engineer first, then rescues Leona, who hasn't been dissolved because Gome-chan has imbued her with his energy and shrunk in order to do so. And then they ponder it for a while, and they're like, "We don't really have time to ponder what on earth is going on with Gome-chan. Let's just agree that he's cute at this size. Let him get some rest. Stop looking at my boobs."
Also, yeah, the closest they get to the horniness levels of bastard is the fact that Gome-chan was down her blouse.
I just want to know where he is at all times. He's my best friend. Nothing weird about it. Not in that way.
Well,
you see me that way, only you
Yes.
weirdo, because I've become the manliest 10-year-old you've ever met.
And while they were doing this, the engineer has put himself inside the furnace, and he's going to kickstart the furnace by pouring his own magical energy into it. And this is where Vern's going, "Really? No, pull yourself out of that. Please don't do this.
Stop. No, don't stop.
He's only going to come up with a new super move. Don't fucking do this. Come
Vern's
on.
like having to go,
No.
"I'm not going to punish you. Just stop. Please stop."
Oh, well done. You broke it. You fucking knew too with the hidden it till you go no Dragon Knight, but he does a fucking one the father son Kamehameha, which again I need to check where that fell before or after the father son Kamehameha and Dragon Ball Z. And you done broke it.
Yes.
I mean that's really evolved on fun. He's blew off roof off the entire building.
Great.
No roof.
Now he can do his dad's like dragon fucking claw Kamehameha with his 2 hands with a dragon crest on him. That's just fucking great fucking work, engineer guy whose name I've instantly forgotten.
Well.
And
then next week we'll be back with the guys fighting Mistvern. And I guess the other lads might show up by that point. I don't know.
Oh, we've got this thing isn't hitting 100 episodes as well. It's 90 something.
I'm gonna guess 97 because that will hit us the end of the season. Maybe they'll squeeze a few more into the following season just to wrap it up. Because they lost those weeks due to the hack, didn't they? So they made.
They did. So
I don't.
If you're down for ground 3 more, then get a nice. Feel like a nice round 100 would be where they want to.
It would be very satisfying. Yeah.
I don't know if they've got anything planned to replace it yet.
It's some big shoes to fill now.
It is. What did this replace? I can't remember now.
Oh jeez, yeah, it was in one of the big slots.
They replaced Digimon? No, Digimon was on the same time.
Yeah.
What's the way doing?
What was happening 2 years ago?
Oh yeah, maybe I'm thinking that it was in the Digimon slot, and Digimon was actually in the Digimon slot.
Right.
No.
Anyway, maybe look into that for next week rather than doing.
Well, it made its own style. It carved it out. It just went for Shazam. We're back. Magic Sword. We'll carve out our own slot in the ratings, and they've because it's big shoes to fill because it's come up more often enough in our experience of us how we see echoes of what will come later within it already. And again, wasn't just a tie-in to like a famous game franchise. It was like something taking its own story in its own way in this world and making something.
Yeah, and it was so influential on other things that like basically just either crib notes or copied things fucking wholesale from.
Puzzle and Dragons is what it took the place of.
Okay.
Well.
The Dragon Hour. Yeah.
So. It's a better game. But yeah, this is something as well that has, besides it being the comic with based aspect, it also has there's a big Dragon Quest aspect of it, which is going to attract certain kinds of maniacs who want to be very enthusiastic and do cool shit with it.
I mean, it got me to play my first Dragon Quest game, so its job has been done on my part.
Yeah.
I've been caught, captured, There is one of the games where you catch monsters, isn't there? One of those Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest
Oh,
Monsters.
there's a few of them. Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it looks like Puzzle and Dragons was bumped all over the schedule, so I don't know exactly. Oh, it carried on going after Dragon Quest took over its slot. It
Okay.
got moved. So I guess Puzzle and Dragons is doing pretty well as well.
To get someone to buy a new phone for it. Maybe.
Yes. So next week, let me have a look what's on me. I've gone back to the spreadsheet because it's beginning to get too many shows again. Not so much this season, but okay, but even this season, there's a fair few things. So for next week, how does this sound? Spriggan, episode 2.
Sure.
Bastard, episode 2.
Yeah.
Yuri Deco, episode 1.
Yeah, of course.
I'm Kadama Kawashiri, episode 20, if it comes out.
If it's out, we'll see.
If they want to, yeah.
Dragon Quest: The Adventure Die, episode 85. So that's 1.
Yes.
2, 3 with Spriggan, 4 with Bastard, 5 with Yuri Deco. So maybe just one or both of these, and then decide which one is worth following. There's Chimimo on High Dive on Thursday. I'm not sure, that may be a short. I'm not entirely sure if it's full length or not. That's about the demons coming to stay with those 3 sisters.
It's gotta be a short.
I assumed so, but I'm not sure. And Shine On Bakumatsu Boy starts on Friday. I don't know where that's streaming yet. If anywhere.
In terms of a reprieve, I
Crunchyroll.
suppose.
They've got the trailer, so it's probably Crunchyroll.
Okay.
Well, that would be your best guess nowadays. And that Fuso PI is not until next month.
It's not. That's quite down the line.
Okay.
Some reprieve there, I suppose.
Yes, Futo PI is August start. JoJo's is September start. We'll do an episode of Spriggan next week, and then the following week we won't do because we've got a special episode of Dr. Stone to watch.
Yeah.
It's not dead yet. I mean, we had a whole special one-shot chapter on that. Oh, it's by tying in. Then we used to again with the anime. Everyone saying, nope, it was completely like additional content on top of the way the comic ended. And it was just so natural, fun. It's kind of fun. Oh, we got reading here. We got a bit of Academia. We got a bit of Sakamoto Days. Got a bit of Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone. Wait a minute, you ended. What are you doing? It's just so natural to just kind of click in on that. Again.
Uncle from Another World starts on Netflix on the week ending 23rd of July. For us Detective Conan fans, Zero's Tea Time starts on Netflix week ending 30th of July. They'll probably be, I'm going to guess, probably around the same time they'll have the next Police Academy episode to promote the Zero's Tea Time being on Netflix. So that's still too many, and that's light compared to what we've got coming. So currently I've got written down for October. Here we go. Bleach. Blue Lock. That hadn't started. I thought that had already aired. It has not already aired. So there is I kind of want to see how crazy it is of locking footballers away in some sort of crazy prison to determine the best striker.
Right.
Golden Camway.
Yeah, okay. Oh, fuck! I forgot about that one.
Yep.
Detective Conan, The Culprit Hanizawa. Urusei Tsura. Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury.
Yeah.
It's the
I
same.
can't say I'm not curious.
I'm not curious. Yeah, curious is probably where I am on that. Mob Psycho season 3.
Yeah.
Pop Team Epic season 2.
Double lock.
Shinobi no Itoki. The trailer looks like it's got some fun ninja action in it. It's about somebody who discovers he's like part of some sort of ninja clan. Spy Family Part 2. That's the one I forgot. I forgot that was coming back. that quickly.
I could have gone for a longer break, lads, or at least
But
not against a bunch of other
you want
things
to
I
see
want
the
to watch.
dog, though,
But yeah,
don't you?
Good to see you.
I do want to see the dog, though. Yeah. Damn
Welcome
it.
to Demon School, the Rubicon, season 3. Manga,
Oh fuck!
Damn it.
manga's coming out.
I forgot about
Manga's
that one.
coming out. As is the lovely Muko manga. That's the one I was more surprised and
Yeah,
delighted
Lovely
about.
Muko, man.
yeah,
Man,
yeah.
that's a fucking deep cut. Coming back, baby.
Just in time for that
Yeah.
dog to be hitting its natural life expectancy.
Oh, I gotta see if I follow it on social media so I can stop.
Always remember where she was.
My Hero Academia season
Yeah,
6. I mean, I probably won't watch it, but
that's fine. Didn't watch
Yeah.
the last one.
Yeah, yeah.
Poo Molka.
Now that was again something I thought that's going to be aliens. No,
Yeah.
well, gets the will come off for fucking another 2 years. It's gotta be. Here we are.
And presumably, did they give it a date at any point during Anime Expo? Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's promised, but I'm not sure about the date. Oh dear, oh dear.
That's Mega Part 2 coming soon. Coming
Yeah.
this month, in fact.
And then I think for next year, there's only 3 things locked down that I was interested in, but there's a whole bunch of stuff which we don't know when they're coming. Like Dr. Stone season 3.
Well, on the plus side, if it starts going slow at the start of next year, at least we'll have all the things that we didn't have time to watch now.
It's the fact that so many
that we could come back to.
many of them are sequels to things we love. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not even
So
like,
this is
we
what
gotta
happens-
check out these new things.
Yeah.
It's like, no, these
I
old
mean,
things that we already.
It's pretty easy for me to say I'm not going to watch Bleach. As much as much as
Yeah,
I'm sure
I'm curious, but
that Bleach is going to be the sort of Bleach I like. That's going to be the Bleach I liked for the first 64 episodes. It's going to be the Bleach which isn't having to pad itself because it's run out of comic to adapt because it's finished.
Yeah.
Now, I am super excited about the announcement of 2 different Me and Roboco live action projects.
Yes.
I'm really hoping that it's going to be a Gal and Dino situation with the anime, though. That half of it will be anime and half of it will be live action.
I mean, when it works, it really
Particularly
fucking
if
works.
it's the same
yeah.
crew. Because Me and Roboco would do really well under that.
I thought the exact same thing. Some kind of that pop tip epic style treatment for this mass media collage. It's either that or whoever, because it makes so much more references to it. Let's get some of the Gintama people on there. They would know how to handle that.
Anyway, so really, we've got it light for the next 3 months. It's October. I'm worried about.
It's one lazy summer.
Put your feet up. Get ready for that deluge.
We're just kind of maybe approach this in a different way or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to know who's voicing Ted in Urusei Asura. That's the next thing I need to know. I'm sure there's some more voice announcements to go, but the problem is that it's probably not going to live up to what I want Urusei Asura to be, because there's 100
It's still new Urusei Yatsura, so you're gonna watch.
I guess
it,
the interesting thing is seeing how people adapt the same material a second time.
Yeah. If they can bring their own voice and everything. Yeah.
But just as recently as I was seeing like memes was mashing up Chainsaw Man and Urusei Yatsura like for the opening, it's up to including yesterday, in the year of our Lord 2022. I thought, it's still got this really big hold on people. That version of it, that way of it, and it keeps getting rediscovered because there was a lot of fun shit in there. How will they kind of interpret? Because they're just interpreting now. This is probably also interpreting this sort of understanding of it that's actually got a few decades worth of momentum behind it. That's a real undertaking.
I think
there.
it's pulling the color palette from the collection covers is part of what they're doing to differentiate it, and I assume also just adapting the comics probably much more straight than they were originally, which means I really hope they do like 3 comics per episode. The Vampire Dies in No Time format would be what I would say. If you're not going to, because you haven't got a Kazunori Ito on the crew who can do that script, add new beats to existing jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've said who's writing it. I don't think there's anybody I know who can do that sort of thing. I think you're going to see it strain if you don't have somebody who can do that. If you're going to do one comic to an episode, but maybe they'll just do the 2 to an episode, similar to how the original one started out. But I'm really convinced that 3 to an episode is ideal after watching Vampire Dies in No Time.
Yeah, it was just done so successfully there. Yeah.
Like, well, 3 to it may allow it to be very elastic.
Yes.
Because you think, oh, well, 2 has got to be 2 equal halves.
Yeah.
3 it's got to be 3 the same. No. With 3, you can have 2 of this thing, 2 of this thing, and then you have, if you want, a tiny one at the end or in the middle, or even at the start, you want like that. But it doesn't. We're saying, oh, if you did 2 parts in front, 2 was like 20 minutes, and the last one was 5 minutes, and you feel short-changed for the last one. But if it was 2 others, one you know, comparatively, you would feel all right. And that's why you never felt too short-changed. Is it? Oh, I got 3 sketches. I got 3 little setups here. That's fine by me.
And even if you didn't like one of them, like you're probably going to like something in the other 2, so you're going to come out
2
satisfied.
out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah.
That's always going to fool you. Always going to get you.
Anyway, that's the show. We'll be back next week. Good.